Tonight our special guest has traveled all the way from Tampa, Florida, and we've gotten to know this guy because our coupons in this area just are horrible. Anybody relate? Anybody check the Dothan Eagle? Get 4 coupons every week. So anyway, we've grown to love this man. He has blessed us with being able to order from him and teach us awesome couponing techniques and tricks. And so without further ado, please welcome Mr. David Carruthers.
I think it's safe to say I'm not going to lose 20 pounds sweating tonight. For those of y'all that weren't here last night, we were at the Coffee County Agricultural Extension, and there's no air conditioning. I'm not a small man. And I was wearing Tommy Bahama loose-fitting clothing. It was not so loose-fitting about 5 minutes in. To give you guys a little bit of background about me, I'll talk about coupon wizards in a second, but me personally, I spent 10 to 12 years running retail operations. I was one of the youngest store managers ever to be given a store by Winn-Dixie, back when that actually meant something. In the early to mid-90s, I was 22 years old. And I'll never forget it. Y'all probably may even know the guy's name that gave me my store. His name's Gary Doss. He was based out of Montgomery, Alabama. And he came into my store and said, David, we're going to give you a store to run because we really don't think that it can get any worse than it already is. There's nothing that you're going to do to screw it up. That was a heck of a vote of confidence. But I was no worse for the wear and decided, it's probably right. There was a way to screw it up. I sure did figure it out in about the first 3 months. But had a pretty good run with Winn-Dixie, and then Super Target came into Alabama. And the little known fact is, in the 2001-2002 range, I don't even know how close the closest one is here, but per capita, there were more Super Targets in the state of Alabama than there were anywhere in the country. And they needed people who understood the grocery business. I understood the grocery business, so I left and I went to work with them. And that lasted for about 2.5 or 3 years, and I got to be 31 years old. My oldest son, who's over here with me tonight, was 2. I realized he didn't know who Daddy was. Because when you work in retail, you work in retail. And from September 1st till January 31st, I got 1 day off a month if I was lucky. 2 months into the job with Target, I was put overnight because 90% of the functions that I dealt with revolved around replenishment, logistics, merchandising, price changing, computer systems, and those things. So we had to go overnight to work. Went through the first Christmas that way, second Christmas that way. Third Christmas came around, sat down, talked to my boss and said, hey, look, you're going to have to find a replacement. I just can't do this again. Y'all been promising me for 2 years. I said, nothing doing. I said, well, no, let me rephrase that. You're going to have to find a replacement, one way or the other. We're not going to do this again. And I left. And I decided, what am I going to do? So I tell people when they ask me what I do, I have a Clark Kent job, and then I have a comic book job. Okay, we have this little coupon wizard guy, and that's a whole different funny story. I'm actually a commercial insurance producer and risk management consultant, and then partners in our firm with my father and another person, and we've got 12 people that we travel around the country meeting with mid-market companies, workers' compensation, general liability. So if I was being critical of the introduction tonight, the only thing I can add is make sure you know where those exits are. Because I would be remiss as a risk management consultant to tell you that if anything happens in here, y'all got to figure out how to get out of the building. Okay? Anyhow, but on to more personal things. I grew up in the church. I was baptized at Dawson Memorial Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. If you've known anything at all about the Southern Baptist Convention, that's a biggie and an old one. And been in church my whole life ever since. So as I prepared for tonight, I tried to think to myself, how does this really tie in biblically? I mean, we can all talk about stewardship and we can talk about how to make the most of our money. What's a really good example of something that's applicable that all of us can take home today? And for those of y'all that were worried about a sermon, I'm not a preacher, you're not going to get it. You're going to get a visualization that you can take with you, and we're going to talk about coupons after this. But bear with me, because if you don't know this story, it may hit home. When I started thinking about it, I thought about Joseph in the Old Testament. Joseph was born, had favor of his father. His brothers didn't like that. They beat him up, sold him off to slavery. And he ended up working his way out of slavery into being responsible for the fields for Potiphar. Potiphar's wife decided she liked Joseph. She made advances at him. Joseph didn't like that, so then she went and told everybody he was making advances at her, and he ends up getting thrown in prison. It was when he was in prison that he met the guy who was the cupbearer for Pharaoh. The guy's already been sold off to slavery by his own brother. He's in prison because of lies. He meets this guy, finds out he's got this talent for interpreting dreams. Cupbearer finally gets to get out. He heads back to Pharaoh, and Joseph says, look, just remember me one day. 2 years pass. Pharaoh just happens to mention something about needing somebody who can tell him what these dreams are that he's having. Cupbearer's like, ding, 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 I know this guy. Find Joseph. Joseph goes, interprets Pharaoh's dreams, works his way up. Next thing you know, he's responsible for everything. That's what happens. His family. Joseph's responsible for everything. All the people who had ever done him wrong had to come to him. He had stopped by them. So in my mind, that's the Bible's example of the most effective stockpiler ever. This guy had all the grain. You couldn't get grain unless you went through Joseph, right? So with that being said, on a lighthearted note, that's my biblical tie-in for tonight. We're going to talk about stockpiling, coupon, and everything else for the rest of the night out. Now, there's one thing that everybody might not know about tonight. Y'all have the opportunity that you may be seen in other parts of the country. We're taping this live. That's one reason why I'm dressed like I am tonight. Because that and the fact there's no way I could rerun that outfit from last night. I have to bring it out. But that being said, we're taping this live, and we're going to upload it to our site. Because there's a lot of people that really wanted us to be able to come live, and that's just impossible. So we're going to do that, but what that means is y'all have 23 million Facebook posts a month that are viewed by these people, and you could be one of them. Okay? Lots. All right, so let's talk about couponing for a minute. I forgot about Big Al. It's not Big Al. It's the elephant in the room, right? I get this every time I go to talk to people about this stuff. It doesn't matter if it's virtual, when I'm talking on my computer at home, which is typically how I teach people is over the internet live, or if I'm talking live. There are people in here who always have it in the back of their mind, okay, what's this guy's catch? Right? I already told you I'm a salesman, and it's in insurance, and not very many people like insurance salesmen, so that's why I had to go into risk management too. Hey, you don't want to talk to somebody at a cocktail party telling you sell insurance. It's just like going to a timeshare presentation and saying you have bad credit. You're out of there. Okay? So, here's the catch. There is no catch. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I'm not going to ask you for anything. I can look every single one of you in the eye and say that. So get it out of your head that there's always going to be a punchline coming or something that I ask for before this is over, because it ain't going to happen. Okay? Deal? We can get that out of your head, you're going to learn some stuff tonight. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is make sure you have your handouts, because what I did on the handouts is took some things that are relatively common sense, or may seem like they're common sense, but they're extremely important from the couponing perspective, because they're going to come back to you at some point. And then you're going to say, hey, wait a minute, that guy, that insurance guy, he was up there and he told me I was going to need to remember this. First thing I want to talk about is how couponing affects stores. Okay? If you use coupons the right way, it's not going to cause a store or a manufacturer to ever go bankrupt or lose money. If you use them the way that they're intended to be used, it's not going to cost anybody money. Couponing is the win-win-win of the business world. If I'm a manufacturer and I put money out to market and I have coupons out and I have to pay for that coupon to be redeemed, what's that mean? Somebody bought what I wanted them to buy. I already sold the product. I've got my brand in your home, and I don't have to pay otherwise, right? To pay some money to get it distributed and everything like that, but for all practical purposes, that's a win for me, from the store perspective. How many people in here are in retail? How many people are in retail management at the store level? Okay? Good. So here's the deal. Stores make money on coupons. Good money. If you want to talk about it from a financial perspective, when a coupon's redeemed in the store, usually it's held until the end of the week when the registers are closed out and reconciled against the office totals for the week, and then they're shipped off to what's called the coupon clearinghouse. And that's just like a giant grocery store with a bunch of scanners and people that are scanning the coupons and crediting them back to the stores to make sure. And depending on how your operation works, it may go as a lump sum to the corporation, or it may go back tied to an individual store. It's however your accounting system's set up, and that's way out of the depth of this conversation tonight. But what happens is, 30 to 45 days, that money falls back into the store. Okay? Grocery stores make a penny on the dollar, net profit average, nationwide. So when you go and you spend $100 in Publix or Winn-Dixie or wherever it is you shop, $1 net. You make the money regardless. Okay? You run a good store with well-stocked shelves. There's some efficiencies that can be had, but for all practical purposes, the national average is a penny on the dollar. They're given an 8-cent handling fee to take a coupon. Okay? Doesn't matter. It's 25 cents, 50 cents, $1. So for mathematics purposes, we're going to pretend like that's $1. 8 cents is 8% of $1 in 30 to 45 days. How many people are making 8% on their money in the market right now in 30 to 45 days? Good business for the stores. Store managers don't understand this a lot of the time. Good ones do. But a lot of them don't understand the financial aspect of why coupons are so good. And the ones that are really devious understand exactly how good coupons can be. They do the wrong things with them. Okay? Manufacturers specifically budget for this stuff. So when the coupons go out, they know that this zip code is going to redeem roughly 1.8% of the Pantene coupons, so on and so forth. They have projections, and most of the time, they're spot on. So when that budget is hit, everything works. When it's not hit, it doesn't work. I'll give you guys an example. How many people know me from last night's about to answer this, participate? How many people know what's going on with Clairol this week? The coupons. I am not a prophet, okay? But I did say word for word on Friday before that coupon came out on Sunday exactly what was going to happen. It's typo. It was misprinted. It was never supposed to be run at $5 off the tube. For those of you who don't know, the coupon was issued in the paper at $5 off the 2 Clairol products. Did not specify what the products are. We're going to talk about product specification and how to read. They just said any 2 Clairol products. I have a bit of a reputation for not being afraid to state my opinion. So people tend to ask for that opinion when it involves stuff like this. Some of them because they value it, other ones just because they're trying to pick a fight. But the fact of the matter is, for the last 3 years, Procter & Gamble has had inserts come out that have had $5 off the tube, $4 off the tube, any Clairol hair color product. Hair color wasn't anywhere in there. So in the back of my mind, ding, 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 red flag. They didn't mean for that to happen. Now, legally, you can use a coupon on whatever you want, Clairol makes. And in fact, they came out and said that. We'll stand behind it. But I have a problem with that. Because I know what it was intended. And even though they're probably a Fortune 100 company, they're a Fortune 100 company for a reason. So here's the caution that I'm going to give you guys on this one specific example. If you want free herbal essences shampoo at CVS, wait 3 weeks. It'll probably be free again. You can do it the right way. If you want it with this coupon and people go out and use it at mass, don't plan on good Procter & Gamble coupons for another 1.5 years. Because the other half of their statement was real simple. Yes, it was a mistake. Yes, we'll stand behind it. Please be gentle, because we would love to continue to give you great savings for the remainder of the year. Problem with that is this. They don't hit things like Clairol hair color. It's a high-value coupon because it's a slow-moving SKU. It doesn't move the way that they want it to. What coupons get reduced? Tide, Dawn, Cascade, things we all use. Or the majority, a lot of people use, right? So they'll still run the 5 off the 2 or 4 off the 2 hair color coupon. They're just going to give us horrible coupons for the things we really need. And they'll make their money up in 6 months. I tell you guys this stuff about the profitability for the manufacturer, the profitability for the stores and why it's good for us because we can save money. Because there are a lot of psychological issues that you're going to come in contact with when you start the coupon. For those of you who have not done it yet, it gets in your head a little bit. Good ways and bad ways. If you're competitive like me, I might have a really good, $100 grocery order I get for $5 and I'll point at the cashier, give your things. But, a lot of people can't handle confrontation very well, and so we sort of clam up, right? We think we did something wrong, or we're made to feel we did something wrong, whether we did or we didn't. Y'all remember this little bit of information right here about who makes money and who doesn't make money? And you can regurgitate that little bit. Nobody will ever make you feel bad about it again, because everybody wins in the coupon game, okay? I'm not going to read this long definition of what a coupon is, but there is one thing I want you to know, and it's on your handout, because this is another one that's going to come back to you at some point. If you are new to this, you want to know this. Trust me. Coupon's a promotional tool in the form of a document that can be redeemed as a form of payment. Okay? What I tell you about coupons? Stores bake 8 cents in handling fee, 8% on the dollar. To my knowledge, that is the only form of payment as a store manager that I can take that I don't have to pay for. They're paying me. But what you need to realize is how the actual mechanics of the transaction work is the registers run, the total is hit, and then coupons are taken off as the first form of payment before you tender your final payment. The reason I tell you this is because as Publix grows in this region and they have competitors and other things that happen, they're going back and forth really bad with Walmart right down in Tampa. I don't know if those ads have made their way up here, but when that happens, you're going to have to be able to use competitor coupons. And when you read what the language on the competitor coupon says, it'll say things like, after all discounts and promotions and blah, 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 blah. Now you have another argument, right? Well, I'm not going to take this because you've already used a dollar off dollar total, and it's only after other coupons are taken off. And a good example is, you may not have gotten them yet. You will. Like a $5 off of a $40 purchase total with Publix. They'll argue that they have to take all the coupons off first, then give you the $5. That's not how it works. $40 before your coupons. $5 off first, then the rest of your coupons. Coupons are a form of payment. They are promotional, but they're not a sale, and they're not an in-store promotion. They're a form of payment. I mean, if they weren't, how would the stores get paid back? What would they pay them? Send them in cash. Better than cash. Think about how many times the cashier has to handle a dollar bill. How many times the check has to be run. By the time the cashier takes it, counts it down at the end of their shift, the office counts it, then the office counts it again at the end of the week, then it goes to wherever it goes, the bank or whatever else. It's crazy how many times all this stuff's handled. Coupons are usually handled once or twice, and that's it. I'm going to blow through this stuff. Some of this stuff is common sense. The other reason I want you guys to know that tonight's being recorded, unlike last night, where I was very meticulous in going through a lot of these things and felt like I took longer than I needed to, this is being recorded, okay? So if you miss something and things aren't clicking as a result of that, and you don't feel like you can get past that mental block going forward, then I have no problem with you trying to land a plane, okay? Raise your hands, get my attention, we'll stop, and you can ask. If not, you don't want to do that, that's cool. This will be recorded, you can watch it again, and again, and again. Because what I've found is, most people have to listen to this stuff 3 to 4 times before it really starts sinking in. So, if at intermission you think you're going to do the shuffle out the door because you're just so fried that you don't think you'll comprehend it anymore, it's okay. We all feel the same way. You'll get it. Stick with it. Okay? Expiration dates, common sense. Some stores take them past the expired date, some don't. The reason why I bring this up is we're going to talk about ad matchups. We're going to talk about how you plan a trend with a spreadsheet. And if you understand how ad matchups work in the couponing game, which we're going to walk through one, and I'm going to give you a really good example, but essentially it just takes the store's ad, and it matches all the coupons that are good with that sale. So all you have to do is go to a site like the one that we have, and you can make your shopping list from it, and it tells you what coupons to get. Really, you're not even having to be creative anymore. You're just following directions. which, I have a problem with sometimes. I'm not always the best at following directions, but it makes couponing easy, okay? So you're going to use those ad matchups. The problem is when the drugstore ads do things like start on June 30th, which was a Sunday, a lot of coupons expire on the 30th. So you have one day in that ad cycle to use it. So pay attention to your expiration dates because it can jack up a trip, to put it in layman's terms. Okay? Y'all say jacked up here still? I'm going to go home, mark my words, I'm going to be back in Tampa, Florida tomorrow afternoon, and my wife is going to say, what in the world has happened to you? You sound like a hillbilly. Because that twang hits the minute you step back into Alabama, I can promise you. Specific description of products, we talked about that a little bit with Procter & Gamble. Source of the coupons, you're going to have store coupons or manufacturer coupons both. Some of that gets a little bit tricky. For all practical purposes, most of the time, if it's got a barcode on it, it's really a manufacturer's coupon. But you need to read what it says at all times. So when you read the specific description, it's going to tell you. If you print coupons online, they are notorious for allowing Walmart extra marketing liberties by putting their store logos on coupons that are manufacturer's coupons that just say redeemable at Walmart. Okay, great. Well, it's also redeemable at Winn-Dixie and Publix and everywhere else. Don't fall into that trap. Those are not Walmart coupons. If it were to say redeem only at, which by the way, Publix also does the whole thing on coupons.com, but theirs always say redeem only at, most of the time. Okay, so that only is a big word. We're going to talk about something else in a second, and I got into a knockdown drag out with a bunch of other people who have websites today over this issue that we're going to talk about here in a minute. And it's about quantities that you need to trigger coupons and limitations and wording and all of that kind of stuff. And it just blows my mind how people look for any angle that they can find. It's insane. I told the story last night. I've seen all kinds of stuff as a store manager. You really don't. If you could download what's in my head onto a thumb drive, you would need like 5 thumb drives. All the things that I've seen. It would blow your mind. But my favorite's the one of the lady who shoplifted from me. Her husband worked in my meat department. And she'd shoplift me. He must have had a real problem with getting blood on his white butcher coat because she shoplifted Tide. And what she did was she got one of the big boxes. It's probably, it was like $20 back then. I'm talking about the big honking boxes. You can't afford to buy those now. Probably like 40 or 50 bucks these days. She bought it. She took it home. She came back and she said, my husband bought this for me. And he didn't realize that our kids are allergic to this one because it's got a certain dye in it. I said, okay. As a husband, guys, possible, right? We pay attention to detergent ingredients, or are we told get a box of Tide and we show up with something orange that says Tide on it and that's it? She went to hand it back to him. Now, I am not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But I know that if a Tide box says it's supposed to weigh 14 pounds and it weighs 32, something's wrong. She'd taken it home and filled it up with sand and used a hot glue gun around the top of it, put it back together and brought it back to school. Like, I couldn't, again, not a small dude, but I couldn't even pick it up like this to get it over the service desk. So, sadly, right, her husband was now on high alert because we were just waiting to find out what he was stealing from us because there's no way that was an isolated incident. But sadly, if people would just work on following this stuff that we're talking about here, they'd save way more money than they would if they weren't stealing. It's crazy. Specific description of products, quantities needed to trigger a coupon. Now listen, this is an innocent question that a lot of people have when they first start out. They don't understand how coupons work or how many you can use in a transaction. So from a manufacturer's coupon perspective, quantities needed to trigger is a very common one. The one I always use as an example in webinars and when I talk is Pop-Tarts, because Pop-Tarts always have coupons for $1 off of 3. Okay? If you're really lucky and they've got a new flavor out, you can find 50 cents or 55 cents off of 1 on a peely on the box. But most of the time it's $1 off of 3. People ask me, does that mean I can use 3 of these dollar off coupons on 3 boxes of Pop-Tarts? No, you can't do that. Quantity is 3, limited to 1. If they wanted you to save $3 on 3 boxes of Pop-Tarts, they made the coupons $1 off of 1, and then you could use 3 of them, right? So it's important to know the quantities. And the reason, again, when we get into the spreadsheet thing, you're planning your trip, you need to know the quantities so that you know what you're going to buy anyhow, how many coupons you're going to need. Specific limitations for the number of light coupons per transaction. Procter & Gamble and Unilever are pretty much both at 4 at this point. Sometimes they drop them down to 2, so you need to pay attention to that as well. But they're going to tell you how many you're supposed to use. Now listen, stores don't, well, we'll get into that. What's the handling fee? We talked about that. Specific handling instructions for the retailer and the consumer. And then the barcode, especially important with internet coupons, which we're going to talk about. Now, y'all can't read this. Listen, you can't find coupon pictures on Google Images because, why? Because the lady that bought Tide and brought me back sand is printing them out and trying to use them in stores. You can't do that. So this is the best thing I could find. But what I want you to see is right here. Limit 1 coupon per purchase, ready, of products and quantities stated. Period. Here's where this becomes a problem. It becomes a problem with Procter & Gamble, namely, this is where I usually see the issues, and that's when I see other blogs that are posting deals where you can use coupons together and everything else. And this is where my big, it was like West Side Story of coupon bloggers. You guys would have loved it. I mean, I was visualizing myself with a slick blade on. Anyhow, the problem is people think in terms of dollars and not units. Okay? So I want you to not think about dollars for a minute, because the argument that they use is, well, I'm paying for one, with a buy one, get one free Procter & Gamble coupon, I'm paying for one of them, so I can use a coupon on that one since I'm paying for it. Can anybody on here tell me where it says, well, as long as you're paying for one, I guess it's okay? It's not. And what happens is you'll get a buy one, get one free coupon, and then you'll see another coupon for $1 off one or $1 off two, it's for the same product, and people want to combine it. Can't do that. A buy one, get one free coupon, product and quantity specified, food. The one you pay for, the one you get for free. It doesn't talk about dollars, it talks about units. That's 2 units, last time I checked. You know, my argument was, I don't know why they don't just issue one for a free item and then call it a day, because they won't have to print as many coupons, and they don't have to deal with, reimbursing as much money and everything else. They just give away the free product and be done with it. But these people's argument is, well, the register should be. Okay, brainiacs, the register should be. Good idea. Do you understand how the registers in retail operation work? Because it's not up to the manufacturer to program the batches that drop for price changes in the front end of a retail system. Every store system's proprietary, or they have a nationally syndicated software program that they're going to use. It's not the manufacturer's job to tell us what the right thing to do is. I mean, come on, so the register doesn't beep, it's okay? Well, great. The register doesn't beep when I shoplift steaks either, but I'm not loading them up in my waistband. The next thing is also an interesting hot button. Coupons not authorized if purchasing products for resale. Ooh. I have flea markets around here. I bet you see a lot of Procter & Gamble merchandise at flea markets. And you see Procter & Gamble merchandise that people have used 2 coupons on, one of them being buy one, get one free, that also say, not authorized for resale. Okay? Listen, guys, I'm the doomsdayer of the whole coupon community, because in my personal opinion, all this stuff's going to be out the window in 5 years. Paper coupons are going to be gone. Everything's moving to smartphones. Look, I'm not going to do the church thing right here and tie all this into Revelation, where everybody's going to have a mark and all of that. But at the end of the day, everything's moving to smartphones, everything's moving to loyalty cards, and if I'm a manufacturer, if I'm looking at things from a manufacturing perspective, you bet your bottom dollar that's where I'm headed. Why? Because I can get all kinds of information about everybody who buys my product at that point. I can tell where you live, I can tell how much you're going to really redeem, I can tell what coupons you download, which ones you don't. Y'all would be scared stiff if you knew the amount of information that can be gleaned just from the internet or what you download to your phone. It blew me away. I was scared for everybody. We just released our mobile app for the iPhone. That was a fun process. But we just released the app. And I am an analytics freak. You'll figure that out when you see the spreadsheets and everything else in the back half of it. But once we looked to see what the downloads were, I could tell where people live, the average household income, how many kids they have. I didn't ask for any of it. I'm thinking, wow, if I get this stuff for free, what's the paid version look like? You know, what about the reports I can pay for? But I think you're going to see stuff head that way eventually. So as long as we behave with this, we might be able to prolong that a little bit. But if we still see some of the other stuff and the shenanigans going on we've talked about, that's going to go away. Manufacturers set the terms and conditions on coupons. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care what the CVS manager says. I don't care what the Publix manager says. They don't write those coupons. It's not their product. Let me tell you something. Store is responsible for setting their policy only. That's all they have any control over. But that policy can't say we have the right to interpret a manufacturer coupon any way we deem necessary. Coupon terms and conditions are not up to the interpretation we need to the stores because stores are incented to bend the rules. Let me paint a picture of it. There's a picture for you here. We already talked about the fact it's good business, right? Because they get a little return on their investment. That's just one small piece. I'm a store manager and I'm struggling to make my numbers. And I need to get my sales incentive and my profit bonus, or I need to just get my budget numbers so that I keep my job for another month. Because that's the whole way it works in the grocery industry or retail in general. You're threatened to whether or not you're going to have the job the next week if you don't hit your numbers this week. And at 22, I used to just laugh at it. I'm like, find somebody else to come into this pit and run it. That's fine, go for it. But at the end of the day, there's an incentive to not do the right thing. And if I'm the store manager sitting on the fence for my job, I may have a decision to make. Let me see if I can go ahead and figure out a way to get a bunch of those clear-all coupons for $5 off of 2 in here and get my general merchandise manager to go ahead and place a special order. Let's see if we can't ramp our sales up so I hit my numbers this week. Or better yet, let's see if we can move a lot more P&G product by letting people combine the buy one, get one free with $1 off one. Or my all-time favorite, let's take these $7 off one Crest White Strips coupons and let people buy 75-cent tubes of toothpaste but redeem the coupon at $7 and pad our bottom line. That's 2 years ago. At the end of the day, manufacturers pay the price. And one thing we said already is they'll get their money back at our expense. Quickly, do the types of coupons. Manufacturer coupons are the ones by who made it, okay? Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble, Colgate, Palmolive, Kimberly, Clark, Unilever, all the brands and products we love to use. Store coupons in stores. Publix has awesome store coupons. I don't know if the coupon raters have found Publix coupons up here yet. When the books come out, down home, they have to put them behind the service desk in their ration. I feel like I'm in communist Russia just asking for one coupon book, and the long line of people are going to the back because they have the ration coupon books. Because people can't play nice. Dollars off your total, I gave you an example of that, like $5 off of 40 and all of that. Competitor coupons are interesting. It's another one you need to know about. If you don't understand how to use competitor coupons in Publix, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. Okay? Alright, now who Publix accepts as competitor coupons here? If they have store coupons, and y'all have Target? No Target? So Publix and Enterprise Buy does not consider that. Okay. Target will be here eventually. I don't understand why they put their stores in. It absolutely makes sense to me. They don't pay me for my opinion anymore. Sadly, it's much more influential now than it was when I worked there, because I can tell like everybody who wants to listen to what I write. But the competitor coupons are a big thing because they're things that you can stack. So if Publix has a coupon, and it's good for Winn-Dixie too, because Winn-Dixie up here will take competitor coupons from Publix, right? Or no? They will not. They do it home. You can use Winn-Dixie coupons in Publix. I do know that for a fact. I knew I would get one right eventually, but I guessed enough, right? I mean, that's how I got through college. It took me 7 years, and I don't have a doctor anywhere in my name. Once I got in the insurance industry, I figured out that if I wanted letters with my name, they went at the end instead of at the front. I don't know if that's better or worse, but competitor coupons are good because you can increase your savings that way. I'm going to give you some guidance, though, just a word of warning on that. With store coupons and competitor coupons, the stores typically do not get their money back for those. Depending on how the arrangement is set up with the manufacturer, we were usually given some sort of a cooperative marketing budget or allowance that we would maybe get some, be able to credit back on our profit and loss statement for store coupons and things like that, but otherwise, you eat it. Same with double coupons. Double amount is equal. So when you're planning that trip with like 5,000 competitor coupons, just realize that that penny on the dollar is going to be that much more difficult for Publix to hit. And at the end of the day, if you don't need all of that stuff, don't do it. Okay? Because, again, these major corporations are going to get their money back. They will find a way. So the competitor coupons are good. And listen, I'm not telling you not to stockpile, guys. You're going to find out. I mean, I'm going to show you pictures of what I got at my house. So if you want to know how to stockpile, you're going to know how to do it tonight. But you got to make sure that you do it within the right guidelines. There's a difference between stockpiling and hoarding. Hoarding, you will see on television. Effective coupon stockpiling, you will not see on television. Okay? 3 times I've been asked to be on TLC Extreme Couponing, and 3 times I've said no. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. You hear me say that a lot. But I'm smart enough to know I don't need anybody's help to make me look like an idiot. If I'm going to look like an idiot on national TV, I'm going to be the guy that takes his shirt off at the World Series or whatever else with something painted on my stomach. But I'm not going to be on TLC's Extreme Couponing, putting 5,000 buggies of units of yakisoba noodles into 10 buggies and doing the elephant walk to the checkout counter. Like, okay? It's not going to happen. So use your head when you use this stuff. And we'll talk about that more in a little bit. Internet printables, one thing you need to know if you're new, 2 bucks or 2 cents. You know, if you start adding up these 1s and 2s, I've told you like 50 things already. So don't listen to me, it's just a figure of speech. This is a problem because of what I said before, people photocopy coupons. Okay? Even with the internet printables. There's 2 things I want you to know. One of them is how you can show someone that yours are legit. Because I'm cheap, frugal. Cheap's bad, frugal good. I told him last night, as I stood there sweating like I was in a sauna for an hour and a half, you know, looked like somebody hit me with a fire hose, I'm sure. And I said, I'm a highly distinguished, frugal gentleman. I can pull that off in a jacket and suit pants tonight. Last night, not so much. Frugal's good. But anyhow, with the internet printables, I print them in black and white. And I might print them on something else. I'm sure they get a kick if they see me coming, because you'll never know what's going to be on the back of that paper that I printed my coupon on. Okay? But it also raises red flags. So here's what I'm going to show you. Anybody gives you a hard time, this barcode that's voided out is the one that works at the register, okay? It's a universal product code, just the same as what's on the canned goods and things like that. It brings up the register the same in any store you'll go into, and that's how it knows how much to take it off. But if you have a black and white coupon, and listen guys, as a store manager, if somebody walked in to my store and had like, who knows, Grayson's 4th grade research paper on Ulysses S. Grant excerpt on the back of a Ben & Jerry's printable, I'd probably question that. This number right here is the one you want to know about, because each coupon you print has a unique barcode that is tied to the IP address of the device that you printed it on. So that's a good argument, right? Say, hey, look, this one's different than this one. There's no way I photocopied the coupon. They're unique. You need to know that. Because you'll get questioned if you do it that way. Now, if you want to waste money on ink and photo quality papers because your coupons are pretty, that's your business. But not in my house. Problem with that is for dishonest people, it's going to end up catching them at this point. Because there's not really an argument when the coupon that's printed on your IP address is redeemed at like 5 different CVS stores. And you're seen walking in on the camera and walking out on the camera, and they all have the same deal, okay? It's just a matter of time, but I figure sometime in the next year to 2 years, we'll find somebody who's aggregated enough fraud by doing that they'll nail them and they'll be on TV. Types of coupons. More important stuff. This is called coupon manners in my book, okay? Blinkies are called blinkies. Why? Because they blink. Stuff's easy. You know what my favorite part about blinkies are now? I used to hate them when I was a stocker. Because, I mean, if you looked at my knuckles are destroyed from racking them on shelves. I was a man though. I could take 4 cans in each hand and simultaneously work them so that the labels would go out as I was putting them on the shelf, and they were perfect every time. What does that get me today? A good story when I'm up here, maybe. But anyhow, the thing I like about Blinkies is they have motion detectors on them. And I told them last night, what I would like to do is I would like to get a hold of the video footage of these stores so I can watch everybody do their kung fu moves. Because if you get 2 of them out, you're done. You're cut off. If you're lucky, it might spit like part of one out, and then you can just sort of reach and get it. Or the other people who stick them back behind the sign because they don't want the coupon for that. But if you really, it's never the ones you don't want. It's the one you really want, and you need 4 of them, and it's 50 cents more than the one you had from your inserts, right? Like the French's Onions one that we did most recently. You get 2 of them, and you have to do the dance. And you can't just take 2 steps. It's like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible with that laser grid, and you're trying to get a coupon to spit out, and then it only gives you 1. So you're doing this over and over again. That would be great TV. We got to get it on YouTube. I think it would be awesome. You can have as many Blinkies as you want, and I say replenish these all the time. Blinkies do not have to be used today. They can be taken and used later. How many people have ever gone to get a container of Advil? Thought you were going to get a really good deal? It's got what looks like a piece of Scotch tape on the front of it, in the exact size of that right there. Save $1 now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. That doesn't come off, okay? There are a lot of people that are cool with taking that off. That's not cool. It's not what it's for. No, if it doesn't say save $1 now, you have an argument with me, okay? We can argue that point. And there are marketing people that will specifically tell you, we don't put that verbiage on there because we don't care if you take it off the product now and use it later or whatever. But if it has that, you can get in trouble. A lot of trouble. I was really mean when I was younger. My store was in a rough part of Birmingham. I was in Roebuck. And I told people, the story is that I went through more dress shirts from being in fist fights with shoplifters because of getting blood and tore up and everything else being in that store. The good news is it only lasted about 6 months. After that, we figured out we weren't going to put up with anything. And we ran a good store for 2 or 3 years. But we had people arrested for this. I had a couple come in, thought it was a good idea to take about 100 hang tags. That right there, $2 a piece, of the bottles of wine in my store. I didn't like that. I must not have been feeling good that day because I just called the cops instead of dealing with them myself. Turns out, they got put in the clink for it. See, when you put something on a product in the way the law used to be, how many attorneys do I have in here? They never admit it. See, oil and water, insurance guy and attorney, we don't get along at all. But when you put something on a product, it becomes a material part of that product. And if you deface that, I don't remember, I thought about this last night. I don't remember if they got nailed for shoplifting or if it was for vandalism, but too, because they said that they had destroyed the product. And with some of it on the hang tags, I think it was probably shoplifting because it wasn't anything they could do. But the people we had taken away from Peely's were ripping labels, and we couldn't leave the product on the shelf like that. So Peely's and hang tags, bad. Blinky's good. And you get a dance workout, get them all out. Tear pads. I always tell people this too. You know that like strip at the top of the tear pad? They put that there to hold all those coupons together so you can peel one off and they stay together. You don't have to take the whole thing off the shelf. Okay? Tear pads are for later too. It could be for now or it could be for later. But you want to pay attention to this stuff. And, you know, we do our best to let you know when you're going to find it. I usually put out an article on our site that says, here's what you can expect this month, here's what you can expect this month. And I'll tell you, you're going to see point of sale coupons in the dairy department because everybody's making cream-based product. You know, Super Bowl weekend, you find it in the beer aisle, the snack aisle, all the places, you know, sodas. And it's not necessarily for the products that are there. They're trying to get you to buy something that's completely unrelated to the product that's there by cross-merchandising. Some of those are humorous scenarios too. Catalinas. Catalinas are the ones that spit out at the register that probably 90% of the people who get them don't use them. This is another major problem for stores that have Catalina machines. Because people don't use them, right? So you've got the cashier up front. Somebody doesn't use their Catalina. $4 off in the next door. Put that one in my pocket. The next person comes in. Another $4. She gets to about, or he gets to about $20 in Catalinas. Guess what happens? Out of the pocket they come, into the register they go. Now comes our friend Mr. Jackson. That works once. Register will be off balance. They'll have overage in coupons and a shortage in cash. And they'll say, well, the customer forgot to give me the coupons. First time it slides. The next time we pull the journal tape and we look and say, how come the no-sale drawer open happened an hour and 45 minutes after this person's transaction? And there's no answer for that. So couponing is a strategic method used by a shopper to get their normal monthly groceries. It's not what I grew up in. One paper, quarter here, 50 cents there. My mother saved everywhere she could, trust me. I was the kid in the neighborhood who didn't go to the mall to get their summer clothes. I went to Joanne Fabrics or Hancock, and I got to pick out whatever I wanted my shorts to look like. All the other kids were wearing Jans. I was wearing Moms. Mine were one of a kind. No other ones out there. Which was really interesting because when people broke into my locker in PE and showed up wearing Moms the next day, it was kind of easy to figure out who the guy was that stole from me. Couponing is an activity, or not an activity, it's a lifestyle. Guys, this is not something you can do halfway. You can, you're just not going to maximize your savings. You're either in or you're out. And what you're going to do is if you're only halfway in, you're going to figure out pretty quick, this isn't worth the time, I'm not saving enough money, you're going to talk yourself out of doing it. So you're either in or you're out, okay? But it has to become a lifestyle. And it becomes so much of a lifestyle that what we teach is not just this, okay? Hello, y'all. Grew up in the church, taught Financial Peace University, Dave Ramsey's program, for 10 years. We want you to use this to fix all of that, okay? I don't know what everybody's financial situation is in here tonight, but I'm pretty sure that if you're here to learn about how to save money, we're not all independently wealthy, although Tom Stanley, in his book, The Millionaire Next Door, would let you know that a very high percentage of millionaires use coupons. How do you think they got to be millionaires? They know what to do with their money, guys. We want you to get out of debt. We want to teach you how to pay cash for stuff. We do that stuff too in other sessions. We want you to pay cash for your cars. We want you to pay cash for your houses. I want you to have toys. Dave will tell you, live like no one else so you can live like no one else. I subscribe to that theory. I'd like to think we have a pretty good lifestyle at my house. We have nice stuff. My boys have whatever they want. They pay for it. They work for it. but they buy it. Get in the lifestyle of couponing, you're going to open the doors to a whole bunch of other stuff. Coupon stacking. I'm going to get rid of this whole slide in one statement. Coupon stacking. Legally, the right way, 2 coupons together. Store coupon, manufacturer coupon. If you go to Publix, and Publix, I'm going to give you an example of one that we did this past sales cycle, not the one that's going on right now. Again, you don't have enough critical mass of stores up in this area with Publix yet to have these promotions, but they are going to have them. So you have something to look forward to, okay? But we get these coupons for like $2 off a $2 purchase in frozen food, okay? Now I mentioned, I got number 1 and number 2 sitting on the second row over here. Number 3 is a wild animal that's 2 years old, and he's home with his mother who's 8 months pregnant. They did not come. And if you were to ask them, they would tell you he had no business being here. Because everybody who follows our page talks about how cute he is. I prefer to call him photogenic. He takes great pictures when you can get him to stand still. And he and our golden retriever work as a team. We talked about this last night too. Our dog Bentley, and he could care less about sausages. He wants Welch's fruit snacks. Because that's what he's been conditioned to eat. But we had a deal where we had the $2 off of the $2 frozen food purchase, and what that means is whatever I want to go into frozen food and get in Publix, as long as that's $2 in total, I can use that $2 coupon, and that's a store coupon to take it off. On the 630 Red Plum, they had $1 off 1 Ben & Jerry's coupons, right on the cover. Publix had a buy one, get one free sale for Ben & Jerry's ice cream for $3.99. Now, I don't know how many women in here have been 8 months pregnant and wanted Ben & Jerry's, but I had a suspicion I knew one. And I was going to be husband of the year. Walked in with 16 free Ben & Jerry's. Let me tell you how the deal worked. $3.99. Up here, y'all don't have True BOGO. True BOGO, true buy one, get one free means the first one rings up at full price, the second one rings up at double zeros. Okay? So you have to get both to recognize the whole savings. Some people like that, some people don't. Up here, I believe y'all are 50% off. So you only have to buy one and you can save 50%. So we're going to talk about it like it's True BOGO, and then I'll talk to you about it like it's up here too. But the deal is that Ben & Jerry's was $3.99. We used the store coupon for $2 off, made it $1.99. 2 Ben & Jerry's manufacturer's coupons, one for the one I paid for, one for the one I got free. Different scenarios of using coupons with a buy one, get one free coupon. Okay? You can use coupons on a free item and a buy one, get one free sale. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless the store says they're not going to let you do that. They'd be foolish not to because they're going to move more volume. They're going to get reimbursed for it. It all depends on how your register works. $2 frozen food, 2 $1 Ben & Jerry's was a penny moneymaker for us. So for every 2 that I got, I really made a penny. Okay, now if you were up here and it was 50% off, that same scenario, they'd bring it up at $1.99 a piece. You could use a $2 coupon if you'd have a penny moneymaker on one, right? Because you're already $2 ahead. $2 frozen coupon takes care of that one. Use the 2 manufacturer's coupons. It's 2 penny moneymaker up here because those both are free. Okay? We'll talk more about that. Y'all don't try and get wrapped around that whole deal right there. I'll drill down on how to figure that stuff out here in just a minute. But stacking is that's stacking. Store coupon, manufacturer coupon, legitimate. We're good. Y'all have this in your handout. I'm not talking about it. I titled that the Rosetta Stone of coupon terminology or whatever I call it because you're going to learn a whole new language. Okay? Where do you find them? I'm going to tell you guys about men. Fellas, you're going to like this one. all-time favorite place to get a coupon is the U.S. Post Office. It's a good one. 20% off at Lowe's. You go in and get the relocation kits that they have at the front, and they've got a 20% Lowe's coupon in every single one. At least they did. I've not had to buy anything at Lowe's for quite a while, because I bought a lot of stuff when we moved into our house, but I use those coupons. That's my favorite place to get them. Newspaper, online, you can print them in the stores. We already talked about all the different ones in the stores. In your mailbox, hold that thought. Inside merchandise, mobile applications. We're going to talk about some specific ones here in just a second. And then a manufacturer's database. The manufacturer's database is something that we do on our site. It was a lot of work. Please use it. It benefits me in no way whatsoever if you use it. So that's not a politician asking me for something. Use it. Please justify the labor we put into it. What we recommend that everybody does is we recommend that you set up a separate email address specifically for couponing. Use it. These companies will blow you up in your regular email if you sign up for coupons and offers inside the regular email. Don't do that. Set up a separate email address like couponsusie@gmail.com or whatever you want to be, and then run with it. But make sure you check it too, because if you do that, it just becomes a spam folder. What's the point? You do have to check it because you get good offers in your email. You really do. And when you sign up for that stuff, guess what else you get? Your home address. It's like Christmas morning at our house. Every time we go to the mailbox, we don't know what's going to be there. It could be who knows what it is. I mean, it could be a free trial of shampoo or a free thing of dog treats or, coupons for this, coupons for that. But I can tell you, we get 3 or 4 envelopes of stuff that we're going to be able to get something for free literally every day. But the manufacturer's database on our site is a tool that we put together where you can go to every single manufacturer that has a coupon spot for you to sign up or print current coupons directly from our interface. Okay? So you would go to our website, go to the coupon. It's really tricky how we have it set up. There's a button that says coupons. Okay? If you click on that, you'll see a spot that says manufacturer's database. If you click on that, you can go through, and it'll give you an alphabetical list. It'll give you, you can sort it alphabetically, categorically, however you want to do it. But the challenge, and we usually run a contest once, maybe twice a year, to see who can get the most stuff. Okay? But you break it down. You don't try and digest that thing in one sitting. It's impossible. You do a little bit at a time. So maybe you do 2 or 3, 4 manufacturers a day. Say, you know what, this is my goal for the next 6 weeks. I'm going to do 4 a day. I'll get through the whole list. At the end of the 6 weeks, you don't have to go back and do it again. Unless you opt out of their email for some reason, you're in for life at that point. And it is just like an annuity, man. It just keeps churning and churning and churning. But that's the manufacturer's database. Internet printables. Word of caution, I forgot to mention this last night when I was talking. And I started to go down that road a little bit earlier, and then my ADD, by the way, they didn't, you know what ADD was diagnosed with when I was a kid? Whatever my mother could find. Right? They didn't diagnose that, but I can promise you if they did, poster child. I'm all over the place. Got figured it out yet. Internet printables. You can go to these sites and print. When you go, they're going to ask you to install some software. Most of them have a Java applet that you have to install to print coupons. There were some issues with Java about 6 months ago. That has all been fixed. Okay? What you don't have to do, and what I would tell you explicitly not to do, is install their toolbar or their search feature. Okay? Y'all want a quick recipe for disaster on your computer system, go ahead and put that toolbar in. Most of the time it ends up with some sort of malware on your computer. They're going to know anything and everything you want to know. I told you that you would be scared stiff if you knew how much people can find out about you or how much information's out there. Google knows everything. Everything. If y'all don't clean your cookies out on a regular basis, it's probably pretty good practice to get into as well. Because what happens is, you go to Staples, you're looking at copy paper, then you decide you want to hop over to my site. What's in all the ad banners? Office supplies, copy paper. We're not smart enough to know that. They're reading your browser history. Okay? So make sure you keep that stuff clean and tight. You don't want to get into any computer problems or you can't coupon enough to get out of it. You can print from you can get these things, by the way, that button on our site that says coupons has all of the coupon printing sites too. I do benefit from that. Okay? So when we talked about the elephant in the room, the one thing I forgot to tell y'all is we do make money doing what we do. Our business model is completely different than anybody else you would ever probably talk to that does what we do. One thing, I drive 6 hours and come talk to all y'all for free. Okay? Taking a bet. Taking a bet that by the end of the night, y'all are going to have learned enough that you'll come to my site a few times. That's it. So I told you there's not a catch. There's not a catch. My real job with this is I control a lot of internet traffic. Okay? We drive traffic to a website. You print coupons, we get 3 cents a coupon. I don't mind telling you how much I make. How many coupons at 3 cents a piece for prints do you think I have to have printed off my site to cover my bills? We can't print enough out of this whole group if we use every IP device. I mean, my kids probably have 14 IP devices in the bag they brought in tonight. But it's not going to cover it, okay? Because we control that traffic, and because of the demographic that we have on our site, we are very attractive to advertisers. Okay? Nothing intrusive. They just want a banner that I get to charge them for. Okay? So that's how we get paid. It's that simple. We make money off advertising. You print coupons, we get paid for printing coupons. You sign up for one of the market research offers, like the ones that we promote sometimes, we get finder's fees for that stuff too. That is how we fund the site. But I have said from day one, and I will say it till the day that I die, if I have to start charging people to teach them how to save money, I'm going to shut the site down and run off. Because the people who need to hear this message don't have 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever some of these astronomical fees are that people charge for something that they learn for free. Okay? I meant to tell you all that at the beginning, because I can tell by looking at some of the ones in the back, they were still thinking, he's got something he's holding out on us. That's the deal, okay? You can print from your iPad, but you have to print through the app. You can't go through a website. You have to have the coupons.com app or the Red Plum app or one of those on your device. To do that, you have to have a compatible wireless printer. How many coupons can you print? 2 per IP device, okay? Print it, hit the back button, print it again, and you're done. It'll tell you limit reached. Is it wrong to change the zip code? No. Coupons are issued by geography and demographic. Zip code's the easiest way to track that. They're only giving out so many coupon prints per zip code anyhow. Okay? 98% of the people in the country don't use coupons at all. So if it's not in your zip code, when you go to coupons button on a site like ours, you can change that zip code and see if maybe, because the direct clipped version that we typically will let you know is there, it might only be in certain zips because the majority of the zips have been taken. That's when you start keeping the legal pad with zip codes you never thought you'd visit. And they're all the small towns that you don't think anybody's printing coupons from, and guess what? You're right most of the time. I've got my top 10 that I use. If I'm looking for something and it's not on the direct clipped option anymore, I can just tell you I'm going to 630-1077-477. I'm gonna look at all of them. E-coupons. You have Cellfire, Savings Star, You Promise. Target has mobile coupons now. Publix has mobile coupons. Ibotta. You bought it? I bought it. My wife bought it. My wife bought a lot of stuff probably while I was out of town, okay? But the fact of the matter is, Ibotta's a really cool thing too, and this is where I was going earlier with stuff going to mobile applications and things, Ibotta's a rebate. It's not a coupon. So when we were talking about coupon stacking, with Ben & Jerry's, store coupon, 2 manufacturer coupons, if Ibotta has a rebate offer, that's what I call the trifecta. Because you can use that too. Rebate's not a coupon. Okay? So if you've not done that, you need to sign up for Ibotta because it's really cool. Right now they're running, I think the promotion's still good, but for everybody who signs up, they were giving away a $5 credit for the new person. Okay? I don't know if that one's there anymore, but once you do sign up and then you start like telling all your friends about it, you can get up to $20 just for referring people, and it's tiered how you do that. But if you pay attention to the matchups and you at least do the one time you can do the Ibotta deal, that's extra gravy. I think my wife did $70 in Ibotta last month. Okay? That's pretty good. Now, we have a little website. We have our referral links on there. So when people go through our website and sign up, that's how it happens. I would encourage you, if you want to sign up for Ibotta, to get Amanda's link because I'm sure she would like that credit for putting this together tonight. Which ones can you use with paper coupons? This is one that people ask all the time, okay? Savings Star and You Promise cannot be combined with paper manufacturers' coupons. It can be, but they ask you not to do that on their site. Okay? How many do you need? Power of the paper. I have been told ever since I got here how horrible the coupons are on the paper. Last night I didn't believe them. Then somebody told me y'all only had 4 coupons in your red plum 2 weeks ago. I believe them. That's bad. Okay? So hypothetically speaking, paper's the best place to get coupons. Majority of the coupons come from the Sunday paper. Whether you get them from your Sunday paper, use an insert service, a coupon clipping service, whatever. Okay? You have to build your coupon stockpile. We're leaving beginning couponing where we start talking about the nuts and bolts of running your house like a business now. Y'all can have little mini grocery stores by the time we're done. It's the only thing I really know. So that's how I talk about it. But you got to build a coupon stockpile because the fact is that when Publix runs a sale for buy one, get one free Ben & Jerry's and I want to buy 16 of them, if I don't have 16 coupons, I don't do the deal. Right? How do I get 16 coupons? Good question. Maybe I buy 16 papers. Maybe I use a clipping service. We're going to talk to you about knowing how much you need in that coupon stockpile, because that's very important. If you don't have the coupons, you can't use them. Opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what you have to give up in order to do something in the business world. You have to make a decision one way or the other, right? You have to weigh that opportunity cost. What's the gain? What's the loss? You know, what's the rate? Not getting an internal rate of return and net present value and all of that other stuff. This guy in the bow tie back here scares me because he knows what all of that means. But I am going to tell you there's an opportunity cost. You have to weigh what that is. It might be your time. It might be your investment in papers. But you have to throw some stuff in here. I do have a lot of friends that are lawyers and accountants. We were friends before I got into the insurance industry. They can't wrap their head around all of this stuff. They don't understand why my family would spend as much money as we spend on papers to save money. Now you would think, the attorney I get it, particularly the accountant would understand. Besides, it's ridiculous. Why are you spending money to buy coupons to save money? You're just spending money to save money. Isn't that the point? As long as you're saving more than you're spending, that's the last time I checked, it's a net profit. They don't get it. So I put it to them a different way. Who has a $20 bill? You were the first one up. You got a $20 bill? Come see me. Spend $20 a week on newspapers, right? So you have your $20 bill. What if I told you, feel like Monty Hall? I guess it's Wayne Brady now, and I'm nowhere near as good as him. That guy can do about anything. What if I told you that I would sell you that for 20 bucks? Would you think I was crazy? Would you do the deal? Do the deal. That's yours.
No way.
We're done. Give him a $100 bill. Okay? Guys, if you don't understand that, you might as well leave at intermission in a couple minutes. That's couponing in a nutshell right there. You spend the money on the papers to put the cash back in your budget. Okay, I'm going to take this off. You got the next half, right? You're good. Thank you. You got to know how to spend the money to save the money. This is not where I normally take intermission, but I'm watching the clock and I'm over where I would normally take it. We started a little bit late. I want to go ahead and take it now. And then we'll get into breaking down the inserts, the filing methods, planning shopping trips, spreadsheets, what's your stockpile quantity, what's your stockpile price, what's your average stockpile quantity, and all of that stuff, okay?